I love this time of the year when it comes to the end of the summer and fall is just about to start, because every year, traditionally, I go blackberry picking in the country roads in Ireland. It's something I've been doing since I was a wee little girl. And so today I'm going to make a blackberry pie with a butter crust pastry filled with those beautiful, juicy blackberries that we love. So come join me in the kitchen. So to make my blackberry pie, we need eggs, blackberries, superfine or caster sugar, plain flour, all-purpose flour. Good quality butter is key. I also add in lemons as well to the blackberries. So I'm going to start off by making the pastry. So in the pastry goes the butter, chilled, and I'm going to cut it into cubes. Good quality butter is key, especially when you're making a pie like this, because it's all about the butter pastry crust that you're going to get. So I use Kerrygold because I love it. I always keep the wrappers too, and then I fold them like this and I pop them into my fridge. I'm on the shelves, and then when I go to grease my pans, I take it out. My pans are greased and no waste. Next, I put in my caster sugar or superfine sugar. The exact recipe is on the link below. But because the butter is chilled, and we want to chill because the chilled butter in the pastry will give it that shortness and that crunchy crispness that we love in good butter pastries. So you put in a little bit of flour at a time, 2 eggs. So you want to keep mixing the pastry ingredients until they come together like a dough, which won't take too long. I'm going to have a check on it now. Yeah, it's nearly there. So another couple of minutes. Now I'll make my pastry. What I usually do is about halfway through, I'll take off this thing, give it a knock to take off all the pastry so that we mix it well. And then while I've got it stopped, I'm going to zest in my lemon to give it a really lovely, zesty, fresh flavour into the shortcrust pastry. So that's my pastry made. Next, I'm just going to gather it all together onto a floured surface as I bring it together. Look at the colour of this pastry, and the really good quality butter and eggs. The importance of using really good quality ingredients when you're baking. A tiny bit of flour. I don't want to add too much flour to this. I'm just going to flatten this out a little bit. So then with the pastry, what I do is I cover it with cling film and then I put it into the fridge to chill for 30 minutes. This gets it really, really chilled, which will end up with a lovely short crust. So my pastry has been chilling in the fridge for half an hour. It's nice and chilled, which should be easy to work with. And then what I do, and this is a good tip for when you're working with pastry. A lot of people have said to me that they found the reason why they don't make pastry a lot is because it breaks when they start rolling it. So this is a fantastic tip. So I'm taking about 1/3 off it for the top. And then onto the cling film. And then fold over again with cling film, giving yourself enough space on each side of the cling film for your pastry to spread out. And then you use your rolling pin. And so I'm going to have a look. So I need this much and also a little bit more. So I wanted to get up to here, right? So what I do is I get my dish or my pie tin, and I pop it over and I work out how much pastry I need it. So, and I'll check on that again. So you want to roll out, roll back. Don't touch it with your hands. Your hands hold so much heat. So when you touch the pastry with your hands, you're going to make it warm again. So keep rolling out like this, and it doesn't break in the cling film, which is fantastic. And I can begin to see the lemon zest through the cling film or the Saran wrap. Ooh, who doesn't love a pie? I would never make pastry with anything else but butter. Okay, so when it comes out looking like this, perfect. Pop it into the fridge again and just let it chill again while I'm making my top strips for the pastry. So for the top, I'm gonna do a lattice. And I'll be honest, the first time I've seen the lattice or kind of tasted lattice of pie was only a couple of years ago in America. It's not something traditionally we do in Ireland. We usually do a full, top pastry pie. So I want to get 8 strips out of this. I'm just flouring my surface so it doesn't stick. So I want to get these nice and thin so it becomes lovely and crispy. Again, if you feel a little bit nervous about rolling your pastry out like this, you're not used to working a pastry, you can do it with a cling film the way that I did the bottom of this. So again, I need to measure my tin for the longest part, make sure that it'll stretch all the way across. Cut off these sides here so it's nice and straight, but I might use that, or I might need to, about 1 inch in width. So next I'm going to take my pastry back out of the fridge. This is all ready to go on the dish. And another great thing about using the cling film like this is this. Take off one side of the cling film, like that. Just carefully peel it back. Hold it one pan like that, and then just carefully put it all over the pie. And we have our pie base. And then next go in my beautiful blackberries. You could put apples in here too. You could put raspberries in here. You could do a blueberry pie. You could do a strawberry pie. So I'm gonna pop a sprinkle of sugar over the blackberries. And then next I'm gonna put a little bit of cinnamon, lovely ground cinnamon. And lastly, some lemon zest. Pull the pastry, pinch it around to the edge of your pie dish, like this, with your fingers. So 1 over, and then 4 this way, and then fold this over here. Over, and under. So just take your time doing it. It's really not complicated once you get going, and you've kind of figured out your rhythm. So then at the side, I'm just going to pinch this all down and then cut around the side. And then lastly, I'm going to brush the pastry with an egg wash. Just get an egg and whisk it up gently. With the brush, just brush it over the pastry, and what this will do, this will give you a lovely golden crust. And then lastly, a nice sprinkle of castor or superfine sugar on top. It's a lovely crunchy top, and into the oven. So I'm going to pop it into the center of the oven and let it bake. The blackberries are bubbling and the butter pastry is so crisp. Isn't this just the essence of the end of summer and the beginning of fall? If you'd like the full recipe, you can click on the link below. And look, come in closer. Have a look at how crisp this lovely pastry is. It's really held its own, and that's because, I chilled it in the fridge, which is so important to do when you're making a pastry. And I can smell the lemon zest coming through those blackberries as well, and all that's missing actually is a softly whipped dollop of cream. Juicy and sweet and zesty with that lemon, and also crunchy and buttery with that gorgeous pastry. Thank you so much for joining me for Clodagh Summer Suppers. It's been a joy to have you in my kitchen and share all my recipes and my favourite things to do when I entertain. I'll see you soon. Get baking and comment below.